Welcome to another edition of From the Bleachers Sports Show. This is me, your buddy old pal, Tom. Hope all is well and happy holidays. Merry Christmas as we're looking at, or we're going to speak about NWA I believe that this title was not a Christmas movie. Again, a couple of things that I wanted to go over, and again, this is just my thoughts and opinion. Doesn't make me right, or doesn't make me wrong. Doesn't make you right. Doesn't make you wrong. These are all opinions, and just some opinions that I had from watching this past episode. I was watching. And the TV title, I loved again, the little things that matter to me. I love the touch of having the match, the time limits, 6:05, 6 minutes, 5 seconds. Start time of NWA Powerrr, 6:05. Old school days on TBS. NWA WCW 6:05. So it's the small things that matter, like that added touch. On Clean Pin, on that vidcast podcast that I do, I was speaking about Trevor Murdoch, about I don't understand how he is in the title picture for the NWA TV title, being said that that he hasn't even won. His losing streak is pitiful. He hasn't been winning matches. And I also mentioned to you that he doesn't even have a contract. Well, again, little things that matter to me, and suspension of disbelief. What? On this past episode, we've seen Trevor Murdoch get a contract, but what exactly warrants Trevor Murdoch in getting a contract? What exactly has he done? He put in a good fight, but at the end of the day, he has lost more than he's won. There is no second place trophies. Well, there might be second place trophies, but it's either you win or you lose. You win if you're in first place. You lose if you're in second, third place. So with all this losing that Trevor Murdoch has done, what exactly has warranted him in getting a contract, much less a TV shot for a TV title? Why ain't Eli Drake in that tournament for the TV title? We've seen the Pope come out. Elijah Burke, you remember him? WWE TNA days. The Pope has spoken in this past episode of NWA Powerrr, and he has said that. And he did a little bit of mic work, commentary rather. But before he did the commentary, he has spoken that he said that he's looking to assemble a group of people of the finest caliber from NWA to run, be at the top of the hill. Well, that's all fine and dandy, and factions and groups have their purpose in wrestling, but our roster here at NWA, I don't know, it feels a little bit light to be having factions and multiple TV titles, multiple championships. You have your heavyweight championship, your tag team championship, your ladies title. By the way, when is the ladies title being defended? You have your ladies title, you have your national championship, now your TV title. and it looks like, again, they're going to do this where multiple wrestlers could hold more than one championship. They're going that route with, obviously, having Aldis compete. Aaron Stevens has said it quite a few times, that he plans that he wants to hold multiple championships. So I get where they're going. But yeah, I mean, factions. Why don't maybe we need a bigger roster first before we get all these factions. We already have one faction. I mean, a team of Aldis and the Wild Cards. How many more factions are we going to have? Just me. And, in that faction, you're all going to have faces. They're either going to be all faces, going to be all heels. So you want to kind of even it out, right? And again, is our roster big enough to be doing this? Speaking of which, and I've said this a few times here before, I'm confused. Either it's me that's confused, or I just don't get it, or it's by design where it's hard to tell who's a face and who's a heel. Are there even faces and heels? That point was further illustrated to me and this past episode, when one of the commentators, I forgot it was Stu Bennett or not, and when he said Thunder Rosa and ODB are crowd favorites, 2 crowd favorites. I thought, in my assumption, that Thunder Rosa is not a crowd favorite. She's a heel. But again, they're making her, sympathizing her. They showed her journey in MMA, her match. It's like they're humanizing her. And when you do that, how can you hate someone and their story? So I'm a little bit confused, and I don't know if this is a good thing to be doing in having, no clear, faces and heels. I mean, it might be just me, but, I guess it's not, because by that comment made, it's just kind of, everything in the middle. It's open for interpretation, I guess. You seen Colt Cabana versus the question mark, right? And for that TV title tournament, and to me, I'm gonna go again down this road, and I've said it before in regards to other promotions. I mean, I seen Colt Cabana. He didn't get the win against the question mark. Question mark got the win. Again, who's a face, who's a heel here. I mean, it's question mark also a face. I know Colt Cabana seems to be a face. Is question mark a face? Again, but Colt Cabana, I don't know. Like, I seen him on commentary on AEW Dark, and I get it that NWA is considered indie, and even I guess AEW, and I guess NWA was cool with Cabana appearing on AEW. Maybe who knows? Cabana maybe didn't even have to get it cleared to do it, but. I just, I don't know. Part of this big thing with me is for it to make it feel special. Like all, the wrestlers in AEW, to see a Hangman Page or a Joey Janela or a MJF. If I could see them at any other indie-fed promotion, why would I be such in a rush to see him in AEW? I correlate that with Colt Cabana. If I see Colt Cabana at a different Fed, and while he's in the NWA, he kind of just ruins it for me. Like Colt Cabana felt like an NWA guy, but he's not. And he's out there making money, which is his right and his means. But I don't know, part of it for me for an organization, a lasting impression, it was almost like exclusivity. Colt Cabana is not exclusive to NWA. He's also with AEW. It kind of wears off the mystique, if you know what I'm trying to say. Wow, and after this video, I'm going to go take a nappy poo. Seriously. But, another thing that I wanted to mention here, before I hop off, all this wild cards, Camille, there are the faction after they attacked Tim Storm. Tim Storm appeared again, saying that that he's not done yet. He's not done fighting. He has a lot to prove. So on and so forth. For next week, you're going to see all this versus Tim Storm in that TV title championship. So it'll be interesting to see. This faction, and I know you got to give it time to unfold, of wild cards, and all this hasn't been really explained. But they're out there. They're out there giving warnings to Rock and Roll Express. They're planting the seeds of this being a corporation, this being a faction rather, that you do not want to mess with. And if you do mess with them, there will be some serious consequences. I just hope this whole thing that NWA does and says, especially all this, we here take care of things in the ring, right? So, and I hope that lays true. Again, show me how you're different than AEW and WWE, where you don't get these clusterfucks of endings. So if NWA is going to hold true to them being different and true to what all this keeps on saying, that they're different, how will they handle this faction, this trio? And that way they truly do show that they're different. So it'll be interesting to go forward in seeing how this faction will develop in NWA. Just a few things I wanted to touch on. I hope all is well, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon.